Senator Cassidy, recognized.
And I'm going to pick up kind of where Senator Hassan left off, and you'll see why, quite obviously. Colonel Carson, Senator Hassan and I have introduced, and she may have mentioned it, bipartisan legislation to extend and enhance the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. Now, the Work Opportunity Tax Credit gives the employer a credit on the amount of money that he or she would spend to hire somebody for like a 2-year period. And the idea is to help those who might have an issue with transitioning. So think of the one eligibility or the people leaving the service. I like that. As a physician, we've learned that the first 6 months after someone leaves service is one of the key times in which they may commit suicide. That loss of structure. And sir, I saw your testimony speaking about General Eisenhower, like didn't have a clue how to do a career change. And as Senator Hassan pointed out, that we are extending this, we hope, to the spouse of someone who is a veteran, knowing that their movement, constant movement, may have made it difficult for her to have long-term employment. So any thoughts about that bill, the importance thereof, and why not all my colleagues shouldn't be co-sponsors?
Thank you, Senator Cassidy, for the question. I appreciate very much that it incentivizes the private sector to be involved in this, solving this problem with us. And that, yes, it's crucial that military spouses are included in that number. I believe the Department of Labor also has looked at including spouses as displaced workers. So the benefits are there. We help navigate as military spouses that we see to these opportunities and prepare them. The same is crucial for veterans, as you said. That first year is incredibly difficult. Liz O'Brien and I have stacked programs together to build bridges. For example, our program offers credentials. She has pathways for fellowships with employers. And if the employers are looking for our talent that we can help prepare for that opportunity, all the better. So we are supportive.
Now, I'm going to toss this out because I can speak from intuition that a spouse who's been a trailing spouse during the career of someone who's in the service would not have a work record that looks like they've been able to stay at a job for a long period of time. But can anybody put numbers on that and put succinctly how we can help people understand the importance of giving that spouse opportunity for the Work Opportunity Tax Credit? Ms. Hermes, anyone?
Thank you for the question. I appreciate the nod that military spouses are included in this. For over a decade, I was a college basketball coach and then married my husband. And we went through a process where we moved 7 times in 9 years. And so as we moved, you can see where I was coaching at Hofstra University, I was coaching at West Point, I was coaching at University of Hawaii, and then I was coaching at Division II schools as we continued to move across the country and eventually ended up in Germany, where options were slightly limited, as you can imagine. And so when we moved back to the States, I had to make a decision. I love to work, it's meaningful, it's purposeful, and it contributes income to my family. And so now can you imagine when I show up at the age of 40 at hiring our heroes, looking for them to help me find a different pathway, and instead they offer me a job as a coordinator, right? And so who else but somebody that's in this space is going to understand that there is tremendous value in my work history? And so one of the pieces that we work on and work alongside the IVMF is, one, the research that is out there, how do we translate it for the employers? How do we work alongside hiring managers, not just the recruiters, to make sure they're educated to understand what a nonlinear resume looks like and how to figure out what are the skills underlying in each of those positions. And so as we work with our employers, we're also encouraging them to embrace skills-based opportunities. And so as you look at the Work Opportunity Credit, we're grateful that you're including military spouses. We believe they belong there, and encourage employers potentially to provide feedback in what the administrative burden of being able to include military spouses. It is very difficult for employers who are highly regulated to ask the status, a marital status of a potential employee. And so as you work on that, that would be one piece I would flag.
Wait, so if they would say, I like your term, nonlinear resume. Yeah. Oh, you've got a nonlinear resume. Well, it's because I've been married to a guy that's been transferred 9 times in 7 years. Yeah. But they can't, unless you volunteer it, they can't say, it looks like you've moved a lot. Can you tell me why?
Yeah, well, savvy hiring managers often do, which causes military spouses to be eliminated very quickly. But when Jared applies for a job, or Colonel Carson, you can identify as a veteran. It is very difficult for an employer or a company to put on their military spouse, right? Because that is asking me what my marital status is. And so it requires an effort by employers working with their legal teams to be able to put, under the identifying status when you're applying to have military spouse on there. In theory, the companies we've worked with who have been able to navigate it, it then puts the military spouse to the hiring manager who is familiar with what a military spouse resume looks like, or a veteran resume.
Very helpful. Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Ms. O'Brien, let me clarify for at least me. So there is also a downside to indicating that you're a military spouse because it suggests lack of consistent presence. So it's a double-edged sword. If you're not one of the companies that are interested in hiring the spouses of veterans, you may decide not to hire somebody because of the instability of the circumstance. Is that true?
100% true.
Okay. Senator King.
Thank you very much.